Well, welcome back to art class. What we're going to do today is we are going to finish up our picture. We have the majority of the drawing done, but there's a little bit more that needs to be done to our picture. We should have 4 snowmen, possibly 5. You might have a 5th one in the middle there. And then we're going to work on getting the background done. Now, a good portion of this picture will be white, but we do have some coloring and drawing that needs to be completed. So you're going to need a few things. You need your picture, or you're going to want a pencil and an eraser, and you're going to want some crayons. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is wrap up and end the drawing. So in the middle of my picture, I want it to have like a campfire right in the middle. So that's what I'm going to draw. Now, if you have a snowman here, you don't need to really draw the snowman or the campfire because it's going to be kind of in the way. But I want to put it, so this is like a big giant smile. And then the fire part is kind of like a W's. Like that. And then I'm going to do a smaller one inside with W's. Like that. Okay. And then I can put logs, which are rectangles, like that. And then you have a little campfire. Okay. Next, if you wanted to add some stuff to your snowman, we talked about that last week a little bit, and you could add a hat. So if you want to do a hat, you want to put it on the very top of the head, and it's got to cover up the very top. So like I want a top hat. So there's a top hat, and then I need to get rid of that little part that should be hidden. Like that. Okay. Maybe you want one of those winter hats. Okay, and then it goes over like that, and a little cushy ball on top. And then I just erased a little bit of the head that it's covering up. If you want to leave a snowman alone, that's fine. I'm going to leave the girl one alone, and I'm going to put a hat on this one. This one's going to be one of the ones that has the side pieces on it. So it's got a like that. They almost look like dog ears, but there are those hats that have side flaps to cover your ears. There we go. And if you don't, like I said, you can leave them blank if you want. The other thing you might want to add is a scarf. Now I want her to have a very nice scarf, and it just goes around their neck area. So we're just going to put it around their neck. And again, it's going to cover up a little bit of the body. Like that. It's going to cover up. And then you want a piece that hangs down. So she's going to have a nice little scarf. And let's see. I'm not going to put mittens on them because we already have the sticks, and the mittens would be kind of hard to draw with the sticks. So we'll just leave it at that. So you can add scarves and hats to brighten it up a little bit. Okay. And then next, what we're going to do is we're going to do a nighttime sky. So that's a little bit different than what we normally do. Normally we do a daytime, but we're going to do a nighttime sky. So you're going to need to pick a color for our stars. So we're going to want probably a yellow color or a yellow greenish color, and I'll explain why in a second. And we're going to want a white. So you're going to want these two, yellow and white. All right, so we're going to make it a cold night where the stars are glowing. So the very first star, and you're going to put a few of them on the sky. I'm going to show you how to do it. The actual star itself is going to be a white dot, and I know that's almost impossible to see right now. What I'm going to do is then I'm going to put a yellow glow and a color around so that the center, like this, so the center is white. Okay, so I'm going to do another one. So the center is white, and then I put yellow around it. So it looks like it's glowing. I'm going to put a couple of stars. So I'm going to have one way up here going slightly off the page. Like that. And I think I'm going to put one going almost off the page over here as well. So I'm not going to go too many stars. Like that. Okay. Then next, if we think about night, night is dark. So there's two ways you can do this. You can do two colors that work really well for night. They are, let me pull them out here. Black. Black works really good. Or, let's see if I should have that color. Here it is. Yep. Purple. A really dark purple. You don't want a light purple. It has to be a dark purple. A black or dark purple. And I think I'm going to go with traditional black for this one. But either one would work. And I've even had people who mix the black and the purple together, and that looks good too. Okay. So here's what I recommend doing before you color, though. Just to help yourself out. I'm going to have us outline the snowmen that are in the sky so we know where to stop. So we're just going to outline the snowmen. And then I can color my sky. I'm also going to outline here, the ground. And then I'm going to color my sky, because remember, the sky goes all the way to the ground. I'm going to do a nice job coloring in with my purple or my black. You can go up to your sticks. We're going to go over them in brown a little bit later, so because they're so skinny, I don't want to deal with them right this second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward through this. Now I'm going to take a little bit of purple. Like I said earlier, so you can do this where you can mix in a little bit of purple. I like mixing colors. Okay, next, what you're going to do is you're going to finish outlining your snowmen. So I'm going to go ahead and outline those. I'm not going to outline this with black. That won't look quite right. So I'm just gonna... Okay, you notice I left the faces alone for right now, because that way you can color them or outline them as you need. Next thing to do is I'm going to worry about the arms before I forget, because these ones are kind of hidden right now. So I'm going to use a brown to do that. I'm going to have to push kind of hard to make sure that that brown shows up. Next, do the fire. I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but I'm doing them. Since I already got brown out, the part I'm going to do is I'm going to do the logs. So. Now, one thing before we get to coloring any of the snowman parts here that I want to make an adjustment on, if you want to, is a couple people asked me, Mr. Sanders, how come we have regular noses if they're snowmen? Shouldn't they be carrot noses? And you know what? You're right. You could put carrot noses in there. So what you could do is you can go in with an eraser, erase your nose, and draw in a long, skinny triangle. And that can be your carrot nose. So if you want to add a carrot nose instead, what I'm going to do is I'll have 2 carrot noses and 2 regular noses. You are more than welcome to make that change. Okay. Next is to color the face, the buttons. So what I like to do is I'm not going to have mine all the same. So I know the mouth for like this guy here. I'm going to outline that. I know his nose will be that way. There's his eyebrows. But his eyes, I'm going to outline the shape of his eye. But the color, I'm going to make them blue color. And then I'm going to color in the sad teardrop. And then I'm going to give his coat jacket buttons some color. I'm going to give him orange buttons. So all I'm doing is color that in. And I'm going to make his hat the same thing. I'm going to make his hat and coat match. You can make your hat and coat whatever color you want them to be. And then the same thing for these guys. You're going to go in and you're just going to finish coloring them. So I'm going to take some time to color these in, and then we'll stop to do the fire, and then we got one more thing after that. So I'm going to kind of speed through this. Okay, now that we have the snowman pretty much done, we are going to need to do the fire. So the fire is pretty easy. We're going to want a yellow. And an orange. And you probably want the regular orange. There are some other ones that can be in there. The yellow is going to be right in the middle. It's the brightest part of the fire. And the orange. So there was a reason why I wanted a fire in the middle, okay? Because I wanted to put a little bit of a shadow on the sides of our snowman. Now this part has to be done very, very lightly, and it has to be done with a color you wouldn't think a shadow would be. When we talk about snow and shadows, usually we add a blue or a purple. So I'm gonna grab my purple, which is actually another name for violet. And I'm on the side here, very, very lightly, because the light is coming from my fire. So this side will be light, and this side will be shadow. Same thing here. This side would be light, this would be shadow. On these guys, this side, because it's closer to the fire, will be light, and then this side will be shadow. So I'm just gonna go in, and I'm gonna very lightly, barely touching the paper. Gonna add a little bit of purple to the edge. Just a little bit, really, really light. Like you're barely touching the paper. Right over here, and even on the white right there. Same thing here. I'm gonna be very, very gentle, very light, and add a little bit of shadow to this side. Okay. And then again, this side here, the light's gonna be here, so that means the shadow's on this side. So I'm gonna be very gentle, very light. Add a little shadow. Now, if this part feels a little complicated to you, it is okay to skip the shadow. I'm not going to be upset, but I do want to make sure that you got everything outlined and filled in. Like that. And then we are done with our picture. I think they're great emojis. I saw many of them from last week, looked really, really good. So I'm hoping to see some great colored pictures when we're all done. So I need you to take a photo of this, upload it to the class or the assignment, and I will see you next week.